What's going on, eh? That's what people say. What's coming? What's next in the pipeline? Alright everyone, something for the weekend. Development pipelines are a core part of the Power BI service, but they only came along really in the last 12 months or so. 18 months maybe. What they are and what they aren't is difficult. I think a lot of people struggle with them. Part of the challenge with that has been around they are still a premium feature, so you have to have premium. Having premium per user though now makes it much simpler for a business to really start to leverage the benefits of them. And really what they do is they allow you to set up and mirror environments as you go up. So a lot of things, and across a lot of other areas that your business will work in, you'll want to have a dev environment, a test environment, and a production environment. And that works. There's a lot of sense in doing that. I'll be honest, for me, I'm not entirely convinced as to the value add that they bring to your Power BI environment, but I understand exactly what they're about and why that is. So I'll give you my spin on it, but I'll also show you really how to do development pipelines, and let's see what you guys think. So without going any further, how about we cut an hour into Power BI service and see what's going on. So here we are, Power BI service. Okay, my lovely homepage. Got lots of stuff on here, it's all good. Everyone's happy so far. Right? Where we start to do these things with development pipelines is with this little rocket ship. Yeah, hey man, well, development pipelines are a rocket ship. Should be Mario probably, something like that, but rocket ship. So we click with rocket ship and we say we want to create a pipeline. Okay, and it's that simple. So what we need to do before we can create a pipeline though is we need to create a workspace that's going to really be our development environment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here and click to create a workspace. And then let's give it a name. So I'm going to call this dev, and this is going to be my NYC water towers. Okay? Nothing difficult about that. Because I've got premium per user, if we open that up you can see it's going to be premium per user in my environment. That's fine. You need to be doing that, or premium per capacity. So I've now created one. Okay, so I've got me dev New York water tower environment. Right, this is a workspace that I can then publish data to. Okay, so if I go back to me rocket ship, back to me rocket ship, and I say I want to create a pipeline. Pipeline name, let's call this NYC water tower reports, and click create. At this point I've got a view and it's shown me three environments and really where they are, and this is quite a nice starting point, because what it means is you can kind of start further down the chain than you'd like, or you can start sooner. So what we're going to do though, because we're sensible and we're starting at the right place, I'm going to assign a workspace to it. It's going to be the development workspace, and you can see when I click the drop down it only lets me pick me other premium workspaces. It's not going to let me pick anything else. So I'm going to pick this NYC water towers that we've got. This is going to be my development, and I'm going to click to assign it, and it's going to open it up and give me, here's the example of it. You've got nout in it, there's nothing there. So I can now say, oh, right, okay, I need to publish something, don't I? And this is where my bugbear number one comes in, with the way and the nature of the implementation of development environments. And again, this isn't a bad thing. This isn't me saying, oh, I hate this, it's terrible. It's just me saying, is there a value add? I'm not sure. So for this, for the New York water tower data set, what we've done in the past is we've linked and built a data flow that imports all the New York water tower data and splits it all out and does all the nice goodness, right? Including actually doing like a denormalization bit, or actually fixing the typing mistake, or the errors in the data quality for the business names. So it does a lot of stuff for us, that data flow. So we're only ever going to use that one data flow, aren't we? And that one data flow is going to feed me production, me dev environment as well. Right? So kind of part of me is like, well, I mean, I've been in big businesses, and it's like, well, the teams that are doing this, it's the same team. You don't have a development set of analysts and a test set of analysts and a production set. You just don't. And then if you're able to actually leverage being able to point to the production data, you kind of go, well, what's the point in having the different environments? And then someone's going, oh, you can build the report content and not do it. Well, there's a toggle I can turn off, so it's hidden from me people as I'm working through and doing it with the apps. So I'm a little, just doesn't quite gel with me. Probably put this in a little section in the YouTube timeline of rant, right? Right? But here we go. Here's my data set. It's pointing back to me data flow in another workspace, non-premium. This is just a normal workspace where the other one is. Remember, didn't see the DF workspace that it's from. So I've got this, and now all I need to do is to say, right, let's publish it. Okay, so we're going to publish it. Do you want to save it? Why save it? You always get asked to save when you want to publish something. It's going to come up and say, where do you want to publish it to? And if we remember, we called this one dev New York Water Towers. Let's hit that. Okay, it's going to go away and publish that forward. Okay, so that's nice. That's easy. Right? That's everything's going to be published through. The data's going through as well. I wrote this before the June update, where you can direct query now your data flows. But looking at it, we probably wouldn't want to. But in theory, you could. So we've got that. So that's great. Right? I've now got, when we go back into here, you can see this has now made it clear. There's one data set, there's one report, and there's one data set, one report, and one environment. So at this point I said, well, let's publish this to test. Okay, so we can click the deploy to test button. Okay, and what that's going to do is it's going to create a workspace for me. Right, you can see it's dev NYC Water Towers square brackets test, right, which I don't want. That's a stupid name. Why would I want that name, you're saying, as day one? Right, it's fine. I don't mind the way it's done it, because what you can do, we'll let this finish, but what you can do is, of course, rename it. And it's intelligent enough that it will work through what you've called it, and it'll do the sensible things and give it a proper name based on, it'll fix itself if you rename it outside of this. Although from here you can click on your little dots, go to your workspace settings, it'll open it up here, and there we could say, let's take this test out. Okay, well, test NYC Water Towers, and then I just click save, and you see that's fixed that. Right, and then let's deploy this to production. Right, while this is happening, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to hit refresh all, because when you do your promotion, it's not going to be refreshed. Okay, so you need to be aware of that. You can also go through, and obviously, because these are all workspaces and each of these are their own data set, you can assign different refresh schedules to them so that they automatically refresh and are automatically kept up to date. Right, we'll hit refresh all on this as well. So you could have like your production one happen at a different rate. But again, if you've gone down the data flows route, would you want to replicate your data flows across? I don't think you would. And then looking at it, I can't see it. It kind of works, it kind of doesn't. It is useful, don't get me wrong, but I'm not sold, is what I'll say. So I've got this done. This is brilliant. My 3 environments are now synced. We can see I've got the little ticks across the piece for them. Right, this is great. It's all good. Right. Next thing that happens is some bright spark comes along and says, "Oh, I've written a report. Can we publish it up?" So here it is. the little report they've written, right? And it's nice, it's simple. We've got what's going on, we can see, we look at the addresses, we can kind of get stuff. It's not pretty, right? I haven't spent a long time doing this, but this was more about showing you the way the development pipelines worked. Okay, so I've got a basic map showing me where things are and what's going on. At this point, I can then choose to go back and publish and hit publish it. YI, save it, tell it where to publish it to. Right, and in this case, we want to publish it to the dev, New York Water Towers, hit publish. Okay, we're going to publish that up. And that'll work. So I'm now, this is happy. This is good. This makes sense. My Power BI skills are amazing. Okay, so let's go back over to our data to here, and we can see it's now saying there's two reports. There's a difference between these. So if we click compare, we can see what it's saying. It's saying this is new. We go, oh, right. So I can go, all right, have a look at it, see what's going on, view the lineage of it in case there's, anything like that I need to see. And it'll come through and it'll give me all the information that I need. Okay, I thought it'd be a bit quicker than this, I have to say, so I'll hit back. Okay, so we've got that. So I can then say, this is good, run through my change control process that I've got internally, and that's kind of one of the things this helps you with. And then we can hit deploy to test. Everyone's happy, let's go to test. Okay, invariably, we've done that, and then some bright spark during the testing process scans, there's a couple of other things I'd like to see. Can we see about the inspections this year, please? Okay, so we're now able to put in that. That makes everything much better. People feel happier. The world is right again. Okay? Brilliant. Fantastic, everyone says. Publish that then. Well, this has come from test, hasn't it? So if we go and hit publish, let's save that. And I'll tell you what, this is test, isn't it? So this came from test, wasn't it? So if I go and we say we're going to publish it to test, I never renamed production, did I? Oh dear. Better rename production while we're there. So I published this to test because that was right, wasn't it? That was the right thing to do. Okay. So we can see now there's an issue between me production and that, which is what we would expect. Tell you what, let's click this and let's go to the workspace settings on this. New York Water Tower inspection reports. Okay, because we want to give this a nice name, don't we? Because it's one that we're going to be using. This is more customer facing, this bit of it, isn't it? So we want to have a nice customer focused name because we care about our customers. So I've got this is good. I can now see what's happening. Let me refresh this and let's see. Alright, so we can see straight away, finally it comes through and it says we've got an issue. And looking at it, we can see we've got something that's missing from development. This wasn't in development. So we do have an option that we could come back here and we could try and deploy to previous stage. But it's not going to let me do that either. So what can we do really to fix this? The answer clearly is we have to delete it. There's no way of fixing that. There's an issue, it's not happy, this is missing. Okay? So we could choose to deploy to test, and let's see what that does. But that should hopefully overwrite and remove. But it doesn't. We hit compare, we can see it's still there. So the only option that we really have is to delete this. So we're going to delete it. Okay? It's sensible to do this because if we think, right, that version that I've just published up was linked back to the data set from the initial dev environment. So that wouldn't work properly for anyway. So I've deleted that And now let's refresh. Okay, so we're going to hit refresh on the page. It's going to come back. We've got 2. Go back to our Power BI desktop. Tell it to publish. This time, let's pick the right one. Pick dev. Select. Replace it. Okay. And now if we come back to our workflow, or to a development pipeline, sorry, hit refresh, you see, oh, it's saying something's changed. Now this is a nice feature. This is something I really do like, because it's picking up there's a difference between these 2 reports. So there's something that's not the same. They're not the same. Right? Now that is something that is really tricky in Power BI to be able to tell. You know, has somebody made an update? Has someone done something? This is telling you there's an update to it. Okay? And from here, of course, we can click on the report and it'll show me the report in dev. And it'll load up. And I'll say, all right, there's this. Right? I can go back to me report. And I can click on it in test. And then we can be able to compare and contrast and see, right, the 2 side by side almost. What's the change? I'm all right, okay, I'm happy with that. That makes sense. Let's deploy that to test. Okay, it's going to tell you 1 item is going to need to be replaced. Hit replace. Job's a good one. Right? And now, because we're all happy, we can choose to deploy that to production. So I've clicked the deploy to production. It's going to go through, do that, and then lastly we choose to publish the app. So what do you reckon then? I don't know if you can see, kind of, for me, why I'm not sold. I mean, the way it can tell at a report level that changes have been made is brilliant. That is something I love. That's great. I'm not so sold on the let's have 3 workflows, or sorry, 3 workspaces that in theory are all pointing back to the same data source anyway. Especially when there's the toggle in the workspaces that you just hide from the app. Okay, and that's a really great way of developing and having stuff built. And then when it comes to be launch day, you swap them over. So, you know, you might have main report that's available the whole time, and then you're working on a report that's just hidden, and only those people who've got workspace access can see it, do anything with it. And you're also not consuming any resources. You know, these development pipelines are going to be quite resource intensive as far as your Power BI Premium's concerned, because they seem to require 3 times the numbering or the levels. You know, it's not. I'm not at the point where I'm like fully comfortable with them enough that I'd be saying to people, this is definitely what you want to use. It is something that was advised to us to use by Microsoft, and I understand it. In the case that the business I was working with at the time, made a lot of sense. I don't think we ever really did it though, because of just the challenges you've got. What you really need to be doing more is around building like your management cycle and process around your data, and then one around your reports. And the 2 are kind of separate, but you want to have defined interaction points so that you know you're always going to be able to report, and your customers are always going to be able to see the report content they need. But, you know, it doesn't get us wrong. It is a great implementation, and I do like it. I'm just not convinced it's something that I would use. But again, it might be something if I came at Power BI fresh now and went, oh, it's brilliant, I'm going to use it. You know, a lot of this is because I've been doing Power BI for 5 years, you know, almost since it started, and I'm like, well, you know, it's only just arrived, it's a bit late. But yeah, what do you reckon? So don't forget, like and subscribe down below. Head on over to geordieintelligence.co.uk, become a member, support the channel. You know, we are a small channel. We do rely on the support of people. So the more support you can give us, the better. Don't forget, you know, tell your friends, tell everyone, come one, come all, come see what's going on with the world of data. And most importantly, don't be afraid to give it a try. Have a great weekend. Ta-ra.